This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. This is Rich Lerner alongside my colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, calling all the action for today's event. We are here at Wolf Creek Golf Club. It's located in Mesquite, Nevada. Frank, if I didn't know that it was Mesquite, Nevada, I think we landed on the moon and they built the golf course here. This is just mind-boggling.
100 years ago, you couldn't build a golf course like this here. Obviously, all the equipment needed, but in the end, it's wonderful. It's an absolute playground for anyone that sort of loves to play the game. It is desert golf, obviously because of the terrain, but the green oasis that cuts in between is each hole. It just sort of gives you a totally different experience because you keep having to remind yourself you are smack bang in the middle of the desert.
Not close, but not bad either. That one's about 25 feet away. Settles in over the putt. Oh my goodness, that one just rocketed by the hole. It's actually on the fringe right now. Not a gimme, but well within his range. And so just getting started, even par so far. Here at the par 4, 445-yard second hole, severe dogleg to the left. What's the best play here, Frank?
Well, that tee shot, Rich, is so intimidating, so you don't necessarily have to hit driver. Club decision is probably going to be important here because if you hit driver, you've got to take it down over that left side, all over the canyon area. So if you hit 3-wood, you can play a slightly more conservative tee shot, but it is going to leave you a longer second shot to a green that's well protected on the right side by bunkers. But really, you know, if the wind's not blowing, this is a really good, fun hole to play. Look at the vistas.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie, even par currently.
That's a birdie for McIlroy. He is just so explosive. Frank, 227 yards from the back tee here at the par 3 third. This is all you want.
Well, that's for sure. It plays a little longer than that, too, by virtue of playing uphill. Thin air might negate some of that. There's going to be a good shot just to keep the ball on the green. One of the smaller greens here.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Second shot coming out of the rough here. And he's made it onto the green now. 21-foot putt set to go. Oh boy, a drop shot here at the third. Trying to get out of here with just one dropped shot. This is for bogey. Close. Couldn't ask for much more on that putt. That will be a 3 over on the scorecard for this hole. Time to pick up and move on. Here at the fourth, 383 yards from the back tee. It's a dogleg right, but Frank, looking at all of those bunkers, you could really make a mess of this hole if you stray.
You can. That's why you've got to simplify it. Just something there that's going to find the fairway. Even like 3-wood and a wedge, that's really all this hole's going to require. Avoid the canyons on the left and in the desert, as well as just, I don't know how many bunkers there is on the right side. So a little bit of fairway up the left, find that there, and really, you should be looking at a birdie putt.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. So 1 over par for the round. How about this hole, Frank? Par 5 fifth.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it, because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream. You can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you can see you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Just a sensational shot, and he will have that for an eagle.
Amazing. Just like that, pick up 2 on the field.
Now at 1 under for the round. Here at the 6th, 447-yard par 4. Pretty good hole, Frank.
Yeah, probably a layup hole, too, for the longer hitters. Something out there around the 280, 290-yard mark to make sure you don't go it in the stream. Obviously, it's a dogleg right, as you can see. The canyon on both sides is sort of well-defined, so you know where not to go. Second shot plays a little bit back up the hill to a green, once again, that's anything other than flat. It's fun. You've got to make sure you get that ball on the right tier if you want to have a birdie putt here.
Setting up for the approach, this player in total command.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The decision-making, club selection's been spot on, but the execution, the swing, is really what I'm admiring right now.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Has a hat trick and looking for more. 3 birdies now on the day. Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee.
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage from your second shot, even if that only is a sandbar.
Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, tender of heart, then aim for the right side and avoid all that water down the left.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. These putts keep the round together. So close.
Now, just when you thought they might pick up one, now settle for a par.
Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. Stepping up to the shot here at the 9th, it's a par 4, 390 yards.
It is anything other than straight off the tee because all these sort of undulations and curvature on the fairway. You'd think well bunkered, but the last bunker on the right side there, longer hitters, they can nearly fly that just over 300 yards. Either that, shorter hitter just play to that fat area of the green. That'll be sort of some, 270 yards. That will take all the water out of play into a green that slopes back at you. So very good chance, even with a wedge in hand, to get the ball close. A good way to finish the front 9.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. Be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. This is a good-looking shot. Early part of this second 9, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Tough start to the backside, Frank.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well, too. You start losing confidence with the putter early on.
Pretty good putt, Frank. Just didn't quite read it correctly.
Yeah, would have certainly liked that to go in.
That puts them at 4 under for the round. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here. And this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
Did a nice job with that putt. Good read, good speed. This is a 9-footer. Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Frank, the par 5 12th is another case of a hole where you see that Wolf Creek Golf Club can actually be kind of scary, daunting. You look out at the desert mountains, and then you add in some water, which we have here on the left, and you can go for some big numbers here if you're not careful.
Well, this is where the Wolf and the Creek can take a bite out of you. You hit it left off the tee, then you're certainly going to start to rack up a number. There's enough fairway down the right, but once again, if you hit a good drive and this hole is reachable for you, then you've got to worry about the water, which is to the right of this green. 5 wouldn't be the worst score you could make around here, that's for sure. I've seen 6s and 7s.
This one has a chance to be close. On the green in regulation. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. That was a good run right there. Almost went in.
At least he's seen the line as it went past the hole. So just replicate that on the way back.
Good try. Just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
3 under on the day. Now to the 13th hole, and, well, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill, but if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it.
Oh my goodness, that is on in 1. Wow, what an incredible shot. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
Getting set now over the putt. Did the job right there. Now to the 14th hole, and Frank, this is probably the best par 4 here at Wolf Creek.
It's certainly the hole that they take the most photographs on, Rich, and you can see why. Great vantage point of the whole golf course. The hole's just sort of littered with bunkers down the left side, so you know where not to go once again. Go to the right side of that. Hole just keeps sort of hooking around that left side. It plays under 450 yards. It's fun. Just sort of draw it a little off the tee, draw it a little into the green, and you'll be fine.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. Little bit uphill. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That's how you play the game. Right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Here at the 15th hole here at Wolf Creek, bit of a breather here. Nice, short par 3. You don't want to miss this green.
No, that's the temptation there. If you try and bite off a little too much because it looks a little too easy, then a bogey here, and you're in a bad mood all of a sudden at Wolf Creek.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Oh, that hurts. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under. Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays trick. Oh, he's winding this one up. Does he have the power, though?
That is a heat-seeking missile right there. Wow. Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie.
This is an awkward length.
While filling it up today. Beautiful putt. Frank, you licking your chops here at the par 5, 17th hole?
Oh, why not? A chance to reach a par 5 and 2, but there's still pitfalls in front of you. A little creek or stream runs across the fairway. So really limiting the distance you can hit that tee shot, but it's still reachable from just short of that creek. Find trouble off the tee, then obviously you turn it into a 3-shotter. But a good tee shot, and it's too tempting to resist not going for this green.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank. Safely aboard. And getting ready for the putt. 6 under par now. 18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, putting 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green. It is a rather narrow green, but from that distance, you expect to hit it close.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. That's a head scratcher, no other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Finished the round with an impressive 67.